I finished the documentary, finally. So now I have the headspace where I can make like a coherent video to share with you on some of the stuff I learned during the process of making this project, which I did all by myself. Like I shot it, I edited it, I did the sound, I did the lights, I did everything. I was just a one-man gang for the whole thing. And I learned a lot. And I thought a lot about, the prospect of upgrading and stuff like that. And I came to the conclusion that really all I would want to do would be to enhance what I have. And I shot the whole project with the original S5, Panasonic Lumix S5. I'm shooting with the Panasonic GH5 right now, over there, where you are. But I shot the whole thing with this kit, pretty much. The Minolta 28mm f2.8, a vintage lens. I use this Boya shotgun mic. And I shot the whole thing with the S5. And it was a beautiful experience. It looks amazing. It sounds great. I'm very, very proud of it. Very proud of it. Like, is it good? That's going to be for you or anybody else who is nice enough to watch it. That's for you to say. But I'm happy with it. I'm very proud of it. And I know that the woman that I was doing the documentary about is very happy with it. So I wanted to share with you a few things that I thought about that I would want to have moving forward that would make my life a lot easier, moving forward, doing a film like that all by myself. And if I were to upgrade my camera, these are the things I would look for. But when I thought about it, I really have no desire to upgrade my camera. Like, I love the S5, but there are things I might be able to add to this to enhance the experience of shooting by yourself, because there were some challenging things, and some stuff did come up where I thought, I hope that's okay. You know what I mean? So let me go through a couple of the things that I was thinking about during this process. So, okay. First thing, and probably the most important thing, I would like to have 32-bit float. Now, for a regular film, a narrative film, I don't think that's really necessary. But because you're able to control everything, you know what's going on, you know what to expect, you get to set everything up, and if you know how to set your levels, you don't need 32-bit float. However, on a documentary, you have no idea what's happening. You don't know if trains are going by, you don't know if people are yelling and screaming, like you're in a crowd of people, you're out on the street, like you have no idea, no control. And so there were a couple of times where I just thought to myself, damn, I hope my levels are okay. And it turned out that they were. Like, I kind of pushed it in a couple of spots, but it kind of sounds appropriate to the energy of the film and what was happening. And by the way, I shot the whole thing handheld. I used a tripod for one shot, but the rest of the film is all handheld. I wanted that floating kind of vibe, and it just worked out really great. I got my focus pulling skills even stronger now. Like, the more you work, the better you get. You know what I mean? The more confident you become. So, but I digress. 32-bit float would be awesome to have. So what I'm trying to figure out is, can I get something on the hot shoe of my S5 that records 32-bit float that also has microphones on it? So I thought about like the Tascam Zoom H4n, I think. I don't know if it's 32-bit float. I doubt it, because it's been around for a while. But maybe whatever the newest Tascam is, whatever the newest Zoom is, probably has microphones with these wind filters on it that record 32-bit float internally into that thing, or I could plug it directly into the camera, or I could just sync the audio, which is so easy. I mean, I don't understand why people think it's so hard to sync audio. It's so easy. So I'm trying to think of some kind of an option to get 32-bit float to work with my Panasonic S5. That would be awesome, but it's got to be compact, and it's got to be something that I could just slide onto the cold shoe, because I don't use an external monitor, so I could use that instead of using this little mic, which brings me to the second thing that I thought about. Let me make sure my audio is on. Yes. Okay. Is it on? Yeah, okay, cool. The other thing I thought about was, okay, the audio sounds awesome in the film, like beautiful. And I shot with a Boya shotgun mic. There's a link in the description. I have all my affiliate links. I can make a little bit of money off of that. So whatever, not a lot of money, but this Boya shotgun mic, believe it or not, 25 bucks, sounds incredible. All of it, the whole film shot on this, from music, live band, dialogue, everything. The Boya came through like a champion. But I did think, wow, how much better would it sound if I had a shotgun mic, like a real shotgun mic that's between like probably 199 bucks and $400, you know, like some kind of better shotgun mic that has better dynamic range. So I think that might be a purchase that I make, especially if I don't have a good 32-bit float solution. Maybe I'll just get a better shotgun mic, and that might, you know, if not solve the problem, make it much better. But, and again, it wasn't really a problem. It was just something that ran through my mind that could have been a problem. But I'm so hyper conscious of audio. Sorry, I have allergies, so my nose is getting a little stuffed. I'm so I come from a pro audio background, so I'm always really conscious of audio. So, it wasn't a problem, but it can be a problem, and it would be much easier. My workflow would be a lot easier, you know. And some people would say, why don't you just upgrade the camera, get a GH7 or an FX3 or something like that has, well, FX3 doesn't have 32-bit float, but get something that has 32-bit float in it, like the GH7, or maybe Blackmagic, maybe the 6K Pro or the 6K full frame has 32-bit float. I doubt it. Anyway, GH7 does have it. I think the S1 Mark II has it. But I love this camera. I love the image quality. I love using it. You know, the ergonomics is something that I'm used to. And of course, I feel like you get used to the ergonomics of whatever camera you use for a long time. But I love this camera, and it's been a champion for me for a long time. So if I could just add something to it and not have to change my whole system, that would be awesome. So that's something that I thought of. 32-bit float would be awesome to have if I could figure that out, and perhaps better shotgun mic. So we'll see. The other thing I thought about was I've been working with, I don't have any great lights. I use these Neewer lights that are pretty cool. And the entire documentary I'm using natural light. I didn't use any lights except for one shot. That's when I was shooting my subject. I was shooting directly into the sun, and I needed a light on her face because not only is she going to be dark no matter what, but she's also a black woman. So I had to get a light on her face to at least catch her eyes and get something, you know, and my lights were at 100%, and it made it. I mean, the shot looks fine. It looks good. But I was thinking, man, I'm going to get myself a more powerful, small, portable light. And I don't need a big softbox and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get my lighting to work. I figure it out. I don't need all that. And I don't want to carry around a softbox. And I don't want a softbox indoors ever. So I know how to figure it out. I know how to work with light. But I could use a more powerful light. So these little Neewer lights, they're like the size of a credit card. They're cool, but I'm going to get myself a more powerful, small, portable, battery-powered light. Either battery, well, hopefully just a rechargeable light, because I don't want to stick a big battery on the back of it either. So trying to keep it as small as possible. Let me see what else I wrote down here. If I were to upgrade my camera, which I'm not going to upgrade my camera, but if I were to upgrade my camera, the one thing that's lacking in the S5 for me is proper 24 frames per second. And the reason I like 24 frames per second is because I'm somebody who puts films in festivals and stuff like that. And I like to show my films in theaters. And usually you need a proper DCP file. And it's much harder to make a DCP. It's more complicated if you're at 23.98 or 976 or whatever mirrorless cameras shoot at. Most mirrorless cameras. If it's not a cinema camera, usually you don't have 24 FPS. So I believe the GH7 does. I know the Blackmagic cameras do. I know the S1H does. I believe the FX3 probably does, but the S5 does not. And so I've had DCP made for one of my films, and it was complicated. You know, the audio starts to move a little bit because one of my films is like 2 hours and 25 minutes. So if it's shorter, it probably doesn't happen. But what happens is the audio starts to float from the video because a DCP file keeps the audio separate from the video. It gets it so that you can take advantage of all the speakers in a theater, and it's for a theatrical showing. And it costs a lot of money if you do it properly. You could do it in DaVinci Resolve too, but if you're going to give it to somebody who really does it for a living and you can trust it and then you can use it with, no fear of it falling apart, it's going to cost you some money. So 24 frames per second makes it much easier, much less complicated, and probably less expensive. So if I have to ever get another camera, I'm definitely getting a camera with 24 FPS. That's something that, at least for my workflow, I believe it's necessary. The other thing I thought about, and this is kind of a weird thing, I was thinking about Mark Bowen's The Art of Documentary. So I've shot 2 feature films, and I created a mini-series based on a theatrical production that I did because I'm a solo theater artist, a performing artist. And I made a mini-series based on a live theatrical production that I did. And but this was the first documentary that I did. And it came out great. I mean, I'm really happy with it. I'm proud of it. Like I always say, it's not for me to say whether it's good. That's for you to say. But I'm proud of it. But I also know that I could learn so much from being around a guy like Mark Bowen. But more importantly for me, because I know how to use a camera. I know how to shoot. I know how to do all that. I know how to use audio. I know how to use lavalier mic. Like all the stuff that he teaches, I know how to do it. Doesn't mean that I can't improve and I can't learn a lot from somebody like him. But that's not why I would join. I would join for the community, to be a part of these other people doing the same kind of work. Now, I shot this whole thing by myself. If I was in a community like that, maybe I could have asked for help. Although, I don't know. Like, I like shooting on my own. It's kind of a style thing that I like to do. But, it brings me right to the edge of my life. It's like really hard to do. And, I have to be responsible for, my media, for my backing things up, for my audio, for my video, for everything. I have to be like thinking way too much. So it would be nice to have a community of people and just ask somebody to come down and help with a shoot or something like that, or to get feedback on the work, and also to see what other people are doing. It's really inspiring, and I think it really kind of ups your game. So the problem, because, you might say, so join the Art of Documentary. Well, the problem, and I think the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think a lot of people might have the same issue. Like, it's really expensive. Like I know he gives deals all the time and they let you pay it off and they make it easy. And, I know the whole thing, like if you're serious, you'll pay for it. But I'm serious. But I'm putting every penny of my life into my films. And I think a lot of people join something like the Art of Documentary because they haven't finished something. They need to be able to start, do it, and finish. And I'm finishing projects. Like I said, I have multiple features. Now I have a finished documentary. I have a miniseries. Like, I have all this work that I do. Like, one thing I'm good at is finishing shit. But I'm spending all my money. So unless there's like a scholarship for the AOD, I'm not going to do it, unless I start to make more money with this work. And if I had disposable money, if I had extra money, I'm definitely going to join. So something I thought about too, and something I think would be of great value for me. But there's no way I could do it unless I'm making a lot more money, because right now I'm spending every penny on these films. And, like I need 2 more camera bodies for a feature that I'm getting ready to shoot. I'm always raising money for my film. So it's hard for me to I could barely have enough money. Like, I'm fortunate to have a guy I work with who does the scoring for my films. But I also use a licensing platform. That costs me money too. So, we all have stuff that we're spending money on. And so it's something I would love to do, but I can't afford it. And I think a lot of people have that in common. But like some of this other stuff, I'm thinking that would be something that down the road I'm definitely going to do. So, and I guess the other thing that I think of, if I were to ever upgrade my camera, I would like to have an optical low-pass filter, even though I didn't experience any moire in this film, so it sounds kind of stupid for me to even say that. But that's something I would like to have, because I have experienced moire in the past, and it's a pain in the ass, and I don't want to have to deal with it. And I know it doesn't completely eliminate it if you have a filter like that, but it greatly lowers the possibility of it happening. So I would love to have an OLPF. And I guess internal ND filters would be nice too, although I don't mind screwing on my ND filters at all. But anyway, shot the entire documentary with Panasonic S5, Minolta 28mm f2.8. I got affiliate links for all this stuff if you're interested, and that's not why I made this video, but I'm just saying, I guess I'm putting this video out there to say that you could do this. Like, if you're willing to do the work, like, it'll kill you, and it's really hard, and, you know, you need people in your life who can understand that you do this. Like, I don't have any people in my life at all, so I could do anything I want. But if you have a family and stuff like that, I mean, this was like 3 or 4 months nonstop, going to all these locations, shooting everything, editing everything, backing up hours and hours of work, notes, everything. I did everything. It's a lot. So you have to be prepared for that. But if you really love this, if you love filmmaking, if you love storytelling, if you love theater, like all of it, because to me, theater and filmmaking is the same. I come from the theater, so that's why I feel that way about it. But, you know, you could do it if you really want to do it, and you could do it all by yourself. So just have a camera that you're used to, that you love. And, you know, I worked with one lens this time, and it worked out for me. It made the experience even more immersive, because when I needed close-ups, which were a lot, I got a lot of close-ups, I had to get right in there. You know, like I had to be in the middle of everything that was happening. I was getting on stage. I was recording live band performances, among many other things. And I had to be right there. And everybody became really comfortable with me and knew what I was doing. So it was totally cool. I was just kind of part of the whole thing. And it wasn't just certainly not even close to just a music performance thing. It was a documentary about somebody in her life and the challenges that she has to go through every day. Somebody who has had childhood rheumatoid arthritis since she was 10 years old, and was in a wheelchair for a time. And it's the most incredible, inspiring story. And that's what documentaries are for, you know, to share these stories so that other people can see them and get something out of them, and bring some kind of positivity and elevate our empathy and just, you know, bring us to a higher place and bring people together. So I hope this was interesting. You know, like, these are things that I would think of to try to upgrade my camera, get a better audio type of situation, or if I were to upgrade my camera, the things that I would look for in a new camera. And yeah, I hope this was of some value. So please subscribe, and please hit the like button. I'll probably be here a little bit more often now, even though now I'm jumping over to my feature that I've been working on that I had to put aside, because this documentary went from starting out as like an 8-minute project to it's 93 minutes long. It's a full-length feature documentary, so I had to put my feature on the side for a while. So now I got to go back, finish my script, hoping to shoot this winter. And so, yeah, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please consider joining my Patreon. That would be the best. You would be my real-life superhero. I really would appreciate that. And yeah, that's all I got to say about all of that. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. I was just going to turn this camera off, but it's just here to show it to you. Bye. Now I'm going to turn that camera off.